Yo, what's up? We're back again. This time we're going to go through Gen 4. Quite a bit shorter than Gen 3 was. So it probably won't be as long as a video. I do have one thing I want to mention. I've changed the tiers here, just the names of the tiers to the usual, like S, A, B, C, D, and stuff. I do have an E tier. I don't usually like doing E tiers because it just feels unnecessary most of the time, but with how many tiers there are, it was kind of needed, so it's D, E, F. But yeah, I think that's all that's changed between last video and now. I just feel like the letters are a bit. I feel like it's a bit more self-explanatory. Like meh for C tier and just okay in B tier. I don't really feel like quite correctly got across my feelings for the Pokemon in the tier. I just feel like the numbers are probably a better way to go about it. Or letters, what am I talking about? Letters. Yeah. So let's just get started. A Turtwig, who is a very, very good first stage grass starter. I think I like him more than Trico. Not more than Blaziken though. Turtwig's a very, very solid little design. Grotle, however, is awful. This thing is a terrible design. Like, it's one thing for a middle stage to look awkward. A lot of them do. A lot of that's like the point of a lot of them. But this is a whole other level. It's a whole other level of awkward. It does get redeemed though, because Torterra is awesome. I think there's not many Pokemon with ground and grass. I think it's just this and Toedscruel. Which is a shame, because I don't think it's very good typing, but it's a very cool one. Ground grass is a very cool type. This is always my go-to Sinnoh starter. Always been a fan of Torterra. Not my favorite starter or anything, but a very, very solid Pokemon. Chimchar, funny little monkey. Also a pretty good first stage starter. Don't like it as much as Turtwig. Probably put him down here somewhere. I think just under Tentacruel. Monferno. This is the best middle stage out of the Gen 4 starters for sure. Nothing too special, but it's a solid enough design. I don't feel too strongly about it, but it's good. Infernape. It's a cool design. It's cool that it's based on Sun Goku and all, but another firefighting type right after Blaziken was a choice. Definitely a choice. I don't know why they did that. I do think it's cool that it's a mixed attacker. I think that's pretty cool. It's got a lot of different play styles it can do. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good Pokemon. I like Infernape. Piplup. Very, very good first stage starter. All the first stage starters in this gen are good. Piplup is awesome. Prinplup, again, however, like Grotle is horrible. I would put it under Pidgey. You probably understand. These guys have Prankster at least. This is just an awkward middle stage starter that looks really bad. Empoleon, so I believe is still to this day our only water steel type, is a very cool Pokemon. I think I like it more than Infernape. Not as much as Torterra. I'd put it definitely above Blastoise. I think just under Deoxys. Really like Empoleon. Starly. I mean, it's a bird. It's the Route 1 bird of this game, for sure. A bit of a Noctowl. Staravia. Again, don't really care about at all. put it above Mothim. Actually, no, above Weezing. Staraptor, I mean, it's cool. I'm just kind of sick of it. I'm just kind of sick of it after like 2 years of Sinnoh stuff. There's a few Pokemon that I'm quite sick of. I'll put it above Pelipper. Bidoof. Again, I mean, it's cute. It's got. Well, I guess I'll talk about that with Bibarel's abilities and stuff. But it's a serviceable Route 1 rodent. Design-wise, it's one of the better ones. Probably just above Magikarp. Bibarel, still our only normal water type to this day. But that's not exactly a typing that I'm eager to get more of. I mean, it's cool. It's got cool abilities with Simple and Moody. I think it gets Unaware too. Can't remember. I mean, it could be fun to use, but it's mainly just an HM slave. That's like his purpose. And it's not got nearly as good of a design as Bidoof. It kind of just looks like it's seen something horrible permanently. Think above Burret. Kricketot. It's cute. Yeah. It and Kricketune have really good cries, I guess. But everyone knows Kricketune's cry, and that's about the only thing that's noteworthy about Kricketune, because everything else about it sucks. I think just above Primeape is fine. I feel like this thing should have been a normal bug type with the whole sound theme it has. The normal is basically, just about all sound moves are normal in one way or another. Or they're affected by abilities that turn them into other types or whatever. I think Kricketune could have very well been a bug normal type. I think it would fit perfectly fine. Shinx, like I mentioned, with Starly. I'll get to that with Luxray actually. Shinx is fine. Luxio is also fine. Don't think I like it as much as Shinx. Just below Pinsir. Luxray, this is another Pokemon I'm just sick of. This is maybe one of the most overrated Pokemon of all time, because this thing's stats suck. It's like the whole joke with like Sinnoh teams looking exactly the same. That's just a deeper problem with Sinnoh in general, but Luxray is just a Pokemon I'm kind of tired of seeing. Just below Seviper. Budew is cute. I don't, however, like that it's both a friendship evolution and a time-based evolution, so you have to evolve it with high friendship during the day. I won't give it the nerf that it did most baby Pokemon, because Roselia did also get an evolution later. Not later, in the same game. So it's not like taking away from the potential of anything evolving later in the evolution line. But I just don't really care much for it still, because it's a baby Pokemon, and I don't like baby Pokemon. Roserade, I think, is a very, very solid upgrade to Roselia. Yeah, that's about it. Don't feel too strongly about it. I'd probably rank it just below Regirock. Roselia is solid. Cranidos is neat. Always loved the dinosaur Pokemon. I think above Voltorb. Rampardos. Rampardos is cool. I wish it wasn't a god-awful, terrible Pokemon. It's got like 160 in attack, or something ridiculous like that, which is really funny, but all of its other stats are so abysmal that it's basically unusable. I like that it's a battering ram. If I remember right, I think its beta sprite design was pretty cool. But it's hard to say if I prefer that or this one, the one that we got. I think I just rank it like right above Cranidos. They're both fine. Shieldon is interesting. I don't feel like it portrays the Ceratopsian part of it very well. It does shield face, it's just kind of awkward and it's hard to discern any facial expressions from this thing, I guess. I don't know, I don't really care too much for it. Bastiodon. Now before like a year and a half ago, I probably would have ranked it pretty high because I think it's a cool design. But there's a ROM hack called Pokemon Elite Redux, Emerald Elite Redux. It's just like a ROM hack where all the Pokemon have 4 abilities and everything's like super broken. And this is one of the most annoying things to fight in that entire game, and that kind of permanently stained this Pokemon for me. Because it is just not fun to fight in that game. I know in the main series it sucks because Rock Steel's a terrible, terrible typing. It's got some sauce in Scarlet and Violet though, they give it like body press and foul play and stuff. I don't hate it, but it's just... it's just kind of a personal thing. A personal vendetta against Bastiodon. For the Burmies, I'll rank the plant Burmy and Wormadam on the main tier list. Burmy sucks. I don't like Burmy whatsoever, and the same for Wormadam. It's a little better, like the different types are cool enough. Yeah, though I'm not a fan of the Burmy line, which also includes Mothim, who I think personally is the single most forgettable Pokemon of all time. Like when I first got into Pokemon, it took me like several months to even learn about this thing's existence, because the Burmy line is already like forgettable enough. Then you also have that it's a split evolution based on gender, where Wormadam has a whole gimmick based around it, and then Mothim is just another bug flying type. Like this thing just has nothing going for it, really. Ugh. I'll put it above Smoochum, but Mothim is not a good Pokemon at all. Combee is a cool design. I do like Combee's design. It's annoying evolving it since it's like a 5% chance to be female, and you need it to be female to evolve. But the design is cool. I do like the design. Vespiquen, also a cool design. It's another bug flying type, which is not too good. Probably put it just like a little bit higher, not too much though. Pachirisu, this is a pretty weak Pikachu clone. I know it, haha, won World Championships at one time, and that's all it has to its name, really. Because otherwise, it's a very nothing Pokemon. I'll put it below Chikorita. Buizel. Yeah, I mean, it exists. I don't have much of an opinion on Buizel. Below Barboats. Floatzel. Also not much of an opinion on. You can be kind of annoying to run into it in the wild. Mainly in Pokerogue. If you run into that thing in the ocean biome while it's raining, it's just such a pain. I can't put it above Magneton. It's below that, and between that and Tangela, I think. Cherubi. This one's Cherubi. This is kind of just a lazy design. It's like it's just a cherry with a face, or 2 faces, but yeah, it's really not great. Cherum. I'll rank this one. Cherum has a cool gimmick. I do like its whole flower gift ability. Like that, it's cool that it shares the attack and special defense buff with the partner in a double battle. It's cool, I guess. Just above Wailord. Shellos, I'll rank the... screw it, I'll rank the blue Shellos and the pink Gastrodon. Shellos is cool. I like Shellos. Cute little guy. Not a huge fan, but I like him. And Gastrodon, I'm a big fan of. Water Ground is really cool. Gastrodon gets Storm Drain, which is a very helpful ability. Only being weak to grass is really cool. Just overall, pretty big Gastrodon fan. Probably right at the bottom of S tier. I think Gastrodon's very solid, but not quite as good as the rest of everything up there. Ambipom, so looking at Apom, looking at Apom here, it does feel like an evolution to Apom for sure. But I mean, my issue with it is that its little tail hand looks like they look swollen. They don't look like you'd be able to use them very well. Also, its face is kind of ugly. But it does get Skill Link and Technician, which I think is always a fun combo of abilities, especially nowadays that we have loaded dice. You can run Technician, loaded dice, and then Fury Swipes or whatever. There's a lot of cool things you can do with Ambipom. I'm just not huge on the design. I think just below Hisuian Voltorb. Drifloon is a cool design. Drifloon's neat. It's got a cool typing too. Everyone knows the fun fact where Drifloon kidnaps children. Don't know why he does that, but I guess everyone has their own hobbies. Drifblim, another pretty solid Pokemon. I think it has like basically a signature ability with Flare Boost. I don't know if anyone else gets that. Where its special attack gets increased when it's burned, kind of like a special attack version of Guts, but not quite the same. It's pretty cool. I like both it and Drifloon's cries. They're both pretty memorable cries. That always gives a Pokemon extra points if they at least have a memorable cry. I think just below Carvana. Baniri. It's cute, I guess. Just above Mankey. Mismagius, I think, is a pretty big improvement on Mischievous. This is kind of like Mawile and some of these other Pokemon up here, where it's just kind of grown on me over time. I do like Mismagius, it's a pretty cool design. I think just above Absol here. Mismagius is pretty cool. Honchkrow, similarly, is pretty cool. Hasn't quite grown on me as much as Mismagius has, but I like the Mafia boss design. I think it expands on Murkrow really well. Above Nidoqueen. Glameow, it's just boring, paranormal type cat. We just got one of these in Gen 3, the literal previous generation. This thing is pointless. What does he even do? That's too high. Actually, that's way too high. This thing is like down here. What does he even do? And then it evolves at like level 38 or something ridiculous like that for Purugly. You do all of that for Purugly. Chingling, this might be the single most pointless Pokemon in existence. Like, Chimecho was already a nothing Pokemon. Chimecho is nothing, and then of all the options, you give it a baby form. It baffles me. Well, I don't know what they were possibly thinking with Chingling. This is just awful. Donkey. God. Poison Dark's a cool type, but it's just so ugly. This thing is, and like not in like an endearing way either. This thing is just ugly and not pleasant to look at. Skuntank is neat. I like that it like shoots fire or whatever from like the tip of its tail there. I like its design, kind of. The mouth weirds me out still. And it does have a funny fart cry, so I'll boost it a little bit. But not a whole lot. I think it's just under Loudred. Bronzor certainly exists. I think below Baltoy with Delcatty. It's just not that interesting to me. Bronzong, I think it's cool that two of Bronzong's abilities basically you can choose a weakness of his to get rid of. Get rid of the fire weakness, or just make it straight up immune to ground. I think that's cool. Not really sure what else it does exactly. I never really used a Bronzong, and never really had much interest in using a Bronzong before. Just not a very interesting Pokemon to me, I guess. I love Umbreon. Bonsly. This definitely could have gone to a Sudowoodo evolution. But, I mean, it's still just a two-stage line. I doubt they'll make a baby form for Bonsly. So there's still a chance Sudowoodo could get an evolution in the future. And Bonsly, it's not a friendship evolution, which definitely helps. And I think the design is cool, making it based on like a fake bonsai tree. Like Sudowoodo is a fake tree. That's literally what his name means, but bonsai is cool. I think it does a solid enough job at expanding upon Sudowoodo. It's still having its own identity. Bonsly is solid, a little crabby. Mime Jr. also, I think is pretty good. I think it's probably pretty similar to Bonsly. Honestly, before Mr. Rime, I never even like considered Mr. Mime getting an evolution. I felt like it was fine enough on its own. So I don't feel like Mime Jr. is taking away any potential Mr. Mime evolutions. I mean, it's still a two-stage, at least the regular Mr. Mime, Cantonian Mr. Mime's a two-stage. I mean, it's cool. I like Mime Jr. Happiny, kind of the same boat, but it's a stone evolution, weirdly. And, I mean, I think I just put it next to the other ones. I feel about the same towards all of them. Actually, I think it's just the best out of all of them, because instead of an egg, it's holding a rock. It's not a real egg. It's just a rock that it's holding, and I think that's funny. It's a really stupid little child. Chatot. I believe the one and only Pokemon that has ever been able to say slurs, which is funny. Back in the Gen 4 and 5 games, so I think you can still do it in Gen 5, where you can use chatter and record your own cry for it. Which it's no surprise this thing ended up being banned from tournaments, because imagining someone sending out a Chatot in like the World Championship. Not that Chatot would ever make it to the World Championships or something like that. But the idea of someone sending out a Chatot and it just screaming racial slurs is probably why it got banned. But it's pretty funny, I guess. I think that design is neat. And there's like a few like Easter eggs or an Easter egg on one of the Chatot Pokemon cards, where like they're arranged in a way on a bunch of power lines that look like a music sheet, and it basically just the way they're arranged looks like it's Cry. Looks like it's Cry in game. I don't know how to explain any of that. I'm not very good with music at all. Spiritomb is a really cool Pokemon. Very cool design, very cool lore, being 108 evil spirits locked away. I just wish it was better. I wish it was more usable. But other than that, it's pretty cool. Probably just below Gyarados. Also, its shiny is really good. Gibble. Very good. Very, very good first stage pseudo-legendary. Kind of weird that the pseudo-legendary isn't at the end of the Pokédex in this game, but oh well. Big fan of Gibble. Gabite. This is one thing I don't like about a lot of middle stage Pokemon, is that they don't feel like they have their own identity. They just feel like either a bigger version of the first stage or a smaller version of the third stage. And that's kind of what Gabite is, just a smaller Garchomp. I don't feel like this thing has much of its own identity at all. I mean, Garchomp's cool and all, so I can't put it too low, since it's just smaller Garchomp, but I think I don't care too much for it, just below Mewtwo. Garchomp itself, however, is very cool. Probably around here somewhere. A lot of people apparently didn't even know that it was a jet, that it could fly like a jet. It looks really weird and stupid. I don't think I've ever seen it in one of the games until Scarlet and Violet, the one that flies around Area Zero. Which it's pretty funny that it can do that. Also, just like a very solid Pokemon in general. Dragon Ground's a good type. I think just below Lotad. Garchomp is pretty damn cool. Munchlax. Similar situation to these other baby Pokemon. I think this one is a friendship evolution, however. I might be wrong. But the design is serviceable. I think just below Cherim. Munchlax is one of the better baby Pokemon. Oh, here we go. Oh boy. Riolu. This is going to make sense in a minute. It's going to make more sense in a sec. This Pokemon. Boy, it's been a while since we had one of these rants. This Pokemon, I am so unbelievably sick of this thing. It is treated like with about the same. It's got about like the same treatment as Charizard, and you already see where that's landed Charizard. This thing is not a mascot of Pokemon. It is not Pikachu. It's not Eevee. It's not Meowth. It's not any of these Pokemon that are like the face of the series. This is the most undeserving Pokemon for how much spotlight it gets. This is the Kim Kardashian of the Pokemon universe. It is popular because it's popular. It's popular because Game Freak wanted it to be popular because they pushed it so much when it was first revealed. And that's the only reason it is popular, because otherwise it's a pretty lame design. It's just furry bait. I do not care for Lucario whatsoever. Not remotely. I cannot stand this thing. Cannot stand it. I'm just so sick of it. It's just another Charizard to me. And there's maybe one more of these later on. Maybe. My opinion on it's changed a bit, but we'll see. Even then, I don't think it would go lower than Lucario. Hate that thing. Hate it. Hippopotas. It's got a funny name. And that's about it. I barely ever think about this thing. The name is entirely carrying it. Just above Sandshrew. Hippowdon is cool. I wish in the 3D models they would show it in the sand more often. But, I mean, that's about my only complaint, but also, like, my only thing to say about Hippowdon. It's cool that it, like, lives in the sand and that sand flows out of its body. Yeah, it's one of the worst affected Pokemon by the switch to 3D. Above Clamperl? No, that's way too high. Above Kecleon. Scorpy is cool. Poison Bug ain't an interesting type. Even though my favorite Pokemon is a Poison Bug type. I mean, it's a cute enough design, I guess. Drapion. Feels like they kind of dodged Bug Dark type here. We did eventually get one. I don't know why they dropped the Bug type Poison Dark. It's a much cooler Poison Dark type than Skuntank, to be fair. And I think Drapion can be pretty fun to use. I'm gonna rank it decently high, I guess. Just above Tyrogue, below Kyogre. No, actually higher than that. I like it a bit more. Below Crawdon, yeah. Drapion is cool. It's cool. Krogunk. I mean, Poison Fighting's a neat type, but not much to say about it. Toxicroak, cool design, cool type. Can be fun to use, I guess. But still, yeah, not too interesting. Just below Kricketune. Carnivine, it's a cool design. This thing needs an evolution. This thing needs an evolution so bad. It needs something, because it is a horrible Pokemon, but it's a cool design. But it's a horrible Pokemon. It's horrible. Horrible. Struggling. I think below Meganium. Finneon. It's fish. Colorful fish. But it's a fish. And Minion. Any bit higher than this ranks than Finneon is entirely carried by its cry. Because it's a pretty good cry. But that's about it for Lumineon. Mantike. This is another baby Pokemon that I don't think was necessary at all. However, it does have a very cool evolution method. Needing Remoraid in your party to evolve it, I think is pretty cool. Think just below Arbok. Okay. Snover. I'm getting near the end here already. Snover is neat. Grass Ice is cool, even though it's another god-awful typing. I do like its cry. There's a lot of good cries in this gen. There's gonna be even more coming up. I think of Shuckle. Snover's neat. Abomasnow or Obamasnow. Haha, original joke. Also neat. It's cool that it's a weather setter with a snow warning. That's about it. Put it above Fanby. Weavile, here we go. Bunch of new evolutions to old Pokemon. Weavile. Probably top 10. Probably. I think I'd still put it up here. It's tough. If it is still up here, it'll be near the end for sure. Weavile is a really cool Pokemon. Dark Ice is a sick type. It's super fast. It can hit super hard. It's just very fun to use. And it's got a cool design too. Weavile's awesome. Magnezone. There you go. Another top 10. A sick design, cool type. A cold cry too. Magnezone is so cool. Being like a UFO too. It's a very good expansion on Magnemite and Magneton. Just very fun to use too. I love Magnezone. Licky licky. Uh, yep, it's a design. Where'd I put Lickitung? Here. I think it goes lower than Lickitung because it's uglier and its tongue is shorter, which defeats the whole purpose. If they went with Beta Licky Licky, it probably would have been way higher. And put it above Claydol, but it's not gonna be any better. Rhyperior. So I ranked Rhydon up here. Rhyperior. Ugh. Oh god, it's ruined. Just ruined. Such a bad design. It's so ugly and awkward looking. I don't know how you mess up Rhydon that bad, man. Ugh. God, I don't like Rhyperior at all. Tangrowth, I mean, it's definitely a bigger Tangela with arms. I guess I like it more than Tangela, but I don't think about it very often at all. Although Tropius at least had a cool design. Electivire is awesome. Very, very, very solid improvement on Electabuzz. I'm a pretty big fan of Electivire. Above Torterra, but probably below Armaldo. Electivire's sick. Magmortar, it's better than Magmar. It's better than Magmar, but not by much. I like how wide its move pool is. And the arm cannons are neat, but its face and like everything else about it is not very good. Glow Magneton. Togekiss, very solid expansion on Togetic. Fairy Flying is a cool type. Serene Grace is a cool ability. It can be. It's only fun when I'm using it, not when I'm fighting against it though. Somewhere around here. I think above my Milotic. Yanmega, here we go, another very solid evolution to Yanma. Very nice. Yanmega is a very, very solid Pokemon. It's got Speed Boost, which is a really cool ability, and it's got Tinted Lens, which is also really cool. I think, honestly, my only complaint about Yanmega is that it's not part Dragon type. Not making the Dragonfly be a bug Dragon type is a choice, but I'm still a pretty big Yanmega fan. I think it's pretty cool. Probably just above her Alligator. Leafeon. It's hard to say if I like this. It's like around the same level as Flareon. I think I like it a little bit more. The design is a lot better, I think. And it's a lot more usable in battle because Flareon gets no moves. Yeah, Leafeon's solid. Glaceon, don't feel too much towards. It's neat enough. Just wish it was faster. Game Freak really needs to stop making slow ice types, because that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the type. It's meant to be a glass cannon, and it can't take hits very well at all. And Glaceon's solid. I'm just below Hariyama. Ice Score is awesome. Ground Flying is a really cool type. It gets Poison Heal, which is a really fun ability. Yeah. I think Ice Score is really cool. Definitely a huge, huge improvement on Gligar. A bit higher than that. I think below Slowbro. Mamoswine is, again, a very solid improvement on Piloswine. I just wish there's more going on in the empty space on the design. That's about my only complaint. Other than that, it's fine. Ground Ice is a really cool type. Up there, I think. Porygon Z is... I mean, if we've already got Porygon here, and then Porygon 2 somewhere higher up here. And Porygon Z is just, it's just so good. Porygon Z is such a good Pokemon. Adaptability is a really cool ability. I just think it's just a very good expansion on like the Porygon line as a concept. I'm a big fan of Porygon Z. It's very fun to use. Gallade. I haven't really got the chance to use Gallade very much, so don't really have too much of an opinion on it. It's cool. Psychic Fighting's a cool type. I think it's better than Medicham. I think the color for Psychic Fighting type to Medicham. Nothing else than because of the design. And I do think it's really cool that it got Sharpness in Gen 9, actually. Forgot about that. That was a really cool buff that they gave it. I think just below Jirachi. Gallade is pretty cool. Probopass. For the longest time I didn't like this thing at all. Then I got a sense of humor in Probopass. It just makes sense. Probopass just makes sense to me now. This thing is really funny. Piplup Ho-Oh. Probopass is such a funny Pokemon. I don't know why they made it, but I'm glad they did. Dusknoir. It's okay. Don't care about it much. I'd probably put it at the top of this tier here. It's like decent, but nothing too crazy. Frostlass is much better than Glalie. Don't remember where I put Glalie. I think it was out here. Yeah, Ice Ghost is a really cool type. I think it's still the only Ice Ghost type we have. Yeah, I think Frostlass is solid. I do kind of wish it got a Mega along with Glalie. Because it's already a better Pokemon than Glalie, so a Mega Frostlass would have been cool. So I'd rank it below Registeel, actually. I think Frostlass is cool. Rotom is a very cool concept for a Pokemon. In all the different forms he gets, it's very cool. I just wish that while in those forms he could learn more than one move that matches the types. Because a lot of the time those moves aren't very good. Or they have a drawback of lowering your special attack or something like Overheat and Leaf Storm. Other than that, it's pretty cool. It's also very cool that it's an electric type with Levitate, just completely getting rid of its ground weakness. I think just below Sharpedo. I think Rotom's pretty cool. Put these up here. Get there afterwards. And now on to the legendaries, and there's about 1 million of them in this game, so here we go. Uxie. I've never remotely cared about the Lake Spirits whatsoever. I think they're like their only redeeming quality is that their battle music is really good. And that's about it. Uxie can go there, Mesprit, I think it's better than Uxie. And Azelf is better than both of them because it learns self-destruct, which is funny. But yeah, I don't care for the Lake Spirits whatsoever. Dialga. I still don't really know how to feel about Pokemon having like a God of Time and God of Space and all of that. I don't know if it was really necessary, honestly. I've never cared too much for that whole aspect of Diamond and Pearl. I mean, it's cool. It's got a cool typing. Its design is neat. But I just, lore-wise, I just don't care much at all. But, below Munchlax. Palkia I like even less. I mean, the design, not the design, the typing I feel about the same amount about as Dialga. But the design is much, much worse. I saw like one little drawing one day, like 9 years ago, that pointed out how penis shaped its head is with little circles in its head, and I've never been able to unsee that, and it's kind of permanently tarnished my opinion of the Pokemon. Yeah. I'll put it below Lickitung. Heatran, this is like the worst. It's just nothing legendary. I don't even understand why it is a legendary. Fire Steel's a cool type, but that's about it. I don't find this thing's design very interesting. It's got like no lore whatsoever. It's yeah, I don't really care. I want to put it in E tier, but it's not good. Below Weepinbell. Regigigas. Definitely one of the better Regis. Game Freak hates this thing for some reason because they gave it like one of the worst abilities in the game. A slow start, and then in Legends Arceus, a game without any abilities. Nothing else has any abilities except for like Cherim. But Regigigas still has slow start because they despise this thing for some reason. I don't know what Regigigas did to Game Freak. But I think its design is cool, and I mean, it's a neat enough gimmick, but I don't think it's even strong enough without the nerf to warrant getting nerfed. But, I mean, it's neat. Giratina, I think, is pretty damn cool. Dragon Ghost is a cool type. It's got a cool design. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably hard carried by the Volo fight in Legends Arceus, because before that I didn't really care much about Giratina. I'm not like the biggest Giratina fan. I just generally don't really care much for legendaries in general. But Giratina is really cool. Yeah, I think near the bottom of S tier. I think Giratina's solid. Ugh, Cresselia, this thing is never fun to fight. Never fun. Just a pain, honestly, just a pain in the ass every time you run into it. B tier. Never ever fun. Fion. Does anyone care about this thing? This is another one of the most pointless Pokemon of all time. It's just such a nothing legendary. Mythical, whatever it is. I don't even know if Game Freak knows what they consider it. Manaphy is better. Oh god, what the hell? Okay. Manaphy's better. Yeah. Not much better. I still don't really care much for it, but it does get Tail Glow, and that's fun. It can be pretty strong. I think I'd put it just below Obsidian Electrode. Darkrai is cool. Yeah, that's about it. It's cool. I like the lore behind it, and I think it can be fun to use. It did kind of get indirectly nerfed, not indirectly, directly nerfed, just because of Smeargle's antics. Because Smeargle would use its signature move, the Arc Void, in VGC all the time, and it was so like overbearing of a move on it that they nerfed it. They nerfed its accuracy down to 50%, and they made Smeargle not be able to learn it. So it was basically just a nerf to Darkrai for no reason, because he's already not legal in VGC. He's a mythical, which is something. I don't know why they did that to Darkrai, but oh well. I mean, he's cool. Shaman, the Hedgehog, I like it. I think it's cool. That's about it. Below X-Cloud. Arceus, final Pokemon, God himself. Not gonna lie, this is hard carried by Legends Arceus, because otherwise I don't really care much about him. But Arceus is pretty cool. I mean, I still don't really know how to feel about the Pokemon universe having a god, like literal god. I still don't know how I feel about that as a concept in Pokemon. It just kind of feels over the top, like having a god of space and time. But I mean, after Legends Arceus, I can't hate it, just because that game is really good. But I think that does it for everything in this main tier list. So we'll move on down here to the miscellaneous forms. Well, my favorite out of all these is definitely Origin Giratina. I think I'd put it above Primal Kyogre and Groudon. Then we got the Pink Shellos. I'd probably rank over the cast forms. Actually, just above the Hail cast form. I think that design is pretty lame, but I like these two. And then the blue Gastrodon. I'd rank over the Deoxys forms, whatever the plural for Deoxys is. I like Gastrodon quite a bit. This Cherim form is just lame. Shaman form, I'd probably put above the Paldean Tauros forms. Rotom Fan is definitely the lamest Rotom form, but I'd probably rank it just below Shaman Sky. Followed by the Blizzard form, or the Freeze form, Rotom Frost, that's what it is, Rotom Frost. Then the Washing Machine. Then I'd probably rank the Lawnmower and then the Oven. I do like those two a bit more. Rank those higher than the Deoxys forms. Origin Dialga is cool. I think it's an improvement on the design. I don't know, I think I might just feel about the same towards it. Like it more than Shaman Sky though. And Origin Palkia is just about the same. As for the Burmies, I think it's more of an insult that the Sandy Cloak Wormadam is the only bug ground type that we have, so I'm gonna rank the Burmy and the Wormadam lower than the trash one. But that should do it for the miscellaneous forms. And the Megas, since there's only 5 of, yeah. Mega Lopunny, I don't know what they were thinking with this design, honestly. Giving the Pokemon already based on the Playboy Bunny ripped jeans, or ripped sweatpants, whatever it is, was definitely a choice. Yeah. I mean, it's cool that it's a normal fighting type, and it's got adaptive. No, that's Pokérode that has adaptability. That's Scrappy here. Sorry, getting my fan projects mixed up with the main series. No, it gets Scrappy, which is also cool, I guess. It helps both of its stab types, I guess. Yeah, and then I don't really care. Mega Garchomp feels the same as the other pseudo legendaries that got Megas that did not need one. I think I like its design the best out of all of them, but still not a huge fan of it. Mega Lucario can go right next to the Charizards because I still hate Lucario. Mega's not saving it. In fact, it just makes me hate it even more that it got one. Mega Abomasnow, this thing's design sucks. This thing's design is terrible. There's just too much going on here, and I'm not even entirely sure what is supposed to be going on. And I don't think I've ever heard of a Mega Abomasnow doing anything good anyways, anything cool. I don't even know what it's supposed to do. I think it still gets Snow Warning. It barely changes. I think it's just like a stat increase. And then Mega Gallade, I'd probably rank just next to, actually below Mega Gardevoir probably. Mega Gardevoir gets a cool ability. I can't remember what Glade gets. So that's probably a pretty good sign that it's kind of lamer than Mega Gardevoir. Yeah, that'll do it for Gen 4. Best Gen 4 Pokemon was Magnezone, and the worst was Lucario. But yeah, that should do it for this time. Next time we'll be moving on to Gen 5. Not gonna lie, this might take a couple weeks to get out just because there is so goddamn many Gen 5 Pokemon, starting at Victini and ending at Genesect. This might take a couple weeks to get out, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, that'll do it for this video, and I will see you in the next video.